Hi Taurus, welcome to your July reading. Okay, so the thing about July, your reading doesn't really start until the 10th when Mars moves into Virgo. When Mars moves into Virgo, you'll realize that a lot of people want a lot of attention from you. And then quickly after that, you'll realize that people are really addicted to the way that you make them feel. But they're not overly concerned about how you feel. And this has been a theme. You felt it cropping up like 3 or 4 months ago. Like, okay, things are not all that easy for me. The people around me are not noticing. This is troublesome. This is just emotional stuff. You could be happy in every way, but just inner life. And as things progressively got more serious, the lack of empathy from the people around you can be painful. It's a blow to the ego in a way that is very particular. How come you don't love me enough to care that I am hurting, even if you are not the person who hurt me? And there's a little bit of responsibility that Taurus needs to take there, because when you're hurt, it is hard to be around you. It's very easy for anyone to catch the horns. You know this. So there's that natural fear, but there's such a heavy sadness to you when you're hurt that it's kind of out of some people's depth to be able to follow you there and help you. So, strength and the 3 of Swords. Ego, death, but also, feeling vulnerable, feeling weak, feeling hurt, feeling cagey, feeling like even though people are into you, you're not trusting of anything right now. When your ego is bruised, it's much more debilitating, I think, than having like low self-esteem. Because when your ego, you can have really low self-esteem, but if your ego is really overblown, you can still get a lot done. The Sun and the 7 of Wands. Speaking of getting a lot of stuff done, don't worry about the sluggishness of right now. You have time, and that time should be used as wisely as possible. There are areas of your life that bring in money, and they bring in attention, and they bring in joy. And those parts of your life should be reorganized to play a much bigger part than they're playing right now. And making that stuff a more prevalent part of your life will also help you ultimately win this mood battle that begins as, the days now get shorter, and we need to gather all our resources and make our home and our family a cozy place for us to be. And so even if you are harboring some pain about your family not being able to connect with you or not feeling your pain, if you're harboring resentment that a lover can't really understand your pain, maybe they're just being, really frivolous and childish, and you're going through a lot and they just can't see it, maybe it's time to truly just let people make mistakes and let it go and not take it personally, and realize that it's not because they don't want to help you. It's not even that they don't want to follow you down there. This is just not something anyone can help you with. Whatever hurt you, it happened way before July. And you're healing. You're healing. You're still healing. And even if you're in a fantastic relationship and, work is going well, the healing takes the time that the healing takes. Especially if whatever is lost was a source of great strength. So, now let's talk about this Sun and 7 of Wands in terms of your finances. So Taurus, you may finally have gotten impatient enough to start thinking long term in terms of savings, in terms of mortgages, in terms of, all the things that like make you a grown up. And this may cause a little bit of friction with the people around you, or even the people you work with who are not thinking that way. And you're kind of surprised with yourself for thinking that way. It may cause a little internal conflict as well, because you're in no way trying to like grow up like this. But I think you're being made to. I think there are certain things that are uncomfortable in the light when it comes to finances. And you're like, aren't I a little too old for this? Shouldn't this be better? Shouldn't this be easier? Maybe I should think differently. So out of embarrassment, out of conflict, out of inner conflict, however you get there, you get to the point of, I want more financially, security-wise, just, home-wise. I just want more than perhaps I've seen around me growing up, more than I thought was possible. The parameters that were put around me, this is what the world looks like. More than that. I want to break some barriers and do some things that give me more than that. It's very powerful. It's subtle, as most things are with you, but it's very powerful. So you can start laying the groundwork for this massive push outward, because you don't do it often. You're very contented being where you are. You don't do it often. And there is this quality of having to like start from scratch. Maybe it's like you're going to move, or you're going to start a new education, a new profession, whatever it is that's got you, starting from the bottom here. Just know that Mars in Virgo is really going to support this energy of rising quickly from the beginning of the thing. You just need to get started. As soon as you get started, it's going to fly. Whatever this new thing is, whatever apprehension you have of starting from the bottom, it will be so good for you, because you'll learn in a way that's very, very helpful. And Mars in Virgo will make your mind so sharp. It's exactly the right time to perhaps change your identity through education. Learn some shit, yo. Okay. After the 10th, also with Mars in Virgo there, you need rest. So being bookish, getting on your book tings is really the move, because physically your energy will be so sapped. So over the next 15, 20 days, if you just want to be real careful with what you're eating, drinking, so you're not giving yourself even more sluggishness. You know what things make you tired. You know what things make you not want to move around. You're going to feel tired anyway. So what you want to have like fresh, juicy things full of water, like fruit and vegetables and water and juice. And, you want to have things that give you energy that's going to be sapped by Mars being in Virgo, because your brain is just going to be so on, so eat lots of like what my mom calls brain food, lots of like soaked almonds overnight and peel the skin, and lots of water, kidney beans and chickpeas and all this kind of, give your brain the fuel that it needs to, venture forth and start that new thing. You have a lot of reservations about starting from the bottom, but there's that Mars and Virgo energy again to be like, this is the best way to do it. You can't see yourself as starting from the bottom. This is how you become a pro at something. You have to understand it like a child would understand it. There's no shame in beginning again. And the beginning again, whether it's like relationships or a new profession, a new industry, whatever it is, you have to minus that aspect of shame or failure from it. It doesn't matter how well you've done in life thus far. Starting anew at something does not denote failure. It denotes an adventurous and courageous spirit. Like in the I Ching, it says, spectacular comebacks are so much more impressive than winning. Because winning, it's like, it could be luck, it could be this, it could be that. But when you've had all that and you've lost it and you come back and do it again, It's a sign of perseverance, of strength, and then you also think, okay, it wasn't so much luck as it was that this person really like puts the work in. They've got it, whatever it is. So don't think of it as anything being taken away from you. It's just Cancer season gives you those hard truths, that you need to move forward the way your mom does. And you're like, I feel attacked, but like, yeah. Okay, now, the North Node, for those of you who are Taurus rising, the North Node will be moving into Aries, which is your 12th house. So for a lot of you, that's about inner strength and overcoming your fears. But it's also, for all of you, about establishing this, I want to say like a financial wall of security around yourself. Like it's like being guarded by your stable finances. That becomes really important with the North Node moving into Aries. You see where you are vulnerable, and you can see how money would make things that much more safe, and you're willing to pursue money in a new way because you understand that it equates to safety, and that really gets you going. And then we have the Empress, the Lovers, the Ten of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. So the Empress and the Lovers, both major arcana, both giving you direction for the month as opposed to just giving you like an energetic readout of what's going on. So wherever your love life is at, it's really important to remember that this external impression that you're creating by treating yourself a certain way is the playbook that you're going to be giving anybody in how to treat you. So it's really important when someone comes into your life, or if someone, in some way like courts you or wants to be a part of your life, it's important for them to understand that you are going to be treated a certain way, and the only way they'll understand that is by you treating yourself a certain way first. So if you don't treat yourself very, very well yet, it's advisable for you not to bring somebody else into this situation until you've figured out what about you makes you valuable and worthy enough to be here. And that question, once you get to the answer, it's always going to be the same answer, which is that this value, this comes from within. This is something inherent. This is something that you're born with. This is something that is given to you, something that can't be taken from you. But it is something that needs to be recognized. And the Empress is the energy that says you need to recognize this value within yourself before anyone else can truly even come across it or see it. Until you see this in yourself, it doesn't shine in your light, and the right people won't be able to see you. Okay, so we want to enter our love lives right now with a very conscious energy that we're putting out there, that we want a very specific feedback from. Okay, so that's what that's about. And then we have the Ten of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So don't give up on that vision that you have. Don't give up on that dream that you have of, you all being together and living together. Don't suffocate the dream. Don't hold on way too tight. But at the same time, it's not healthy to abandon something, whether this is like a really cohesive work environment. Generally, traditionally, it's love. It can also be family. It can also be togetherness. You need it. You want it. And of course, this is a big part of your personality. But, don't give up on it, but learn how to let it have the space that it needs to breathe so you can have space for other things. Just a little bit of space. This is healthy. You love what you love and it's yours and you're possessive about your love, and that's fine. But, if there is some space to be made if you also want to, Good. Now, when it comes to the Aries, the Leo, the Virgo, the Gemini, we'll talk about them in the extended when we look at the cards. You can look at the cards at the links below. You can do it through an instant video link where you just get a link to the extended in your inbox, or go to Vimeo, or check out the Patreon tiers. And then there's also a link for tomorrow. There is a meetup in Oakland. which should be a lot of fun. And then on the 9th, there's a meetup in LA, and those tickets are below as well as personal reading links. Okay? Good. I love you. Let's look at these cards.